I want to start off this video by making it clear for the totally mentally stable Sonic fanboys that I am not a Sonic hater. I've actually been rooting for his comeback big time for a while now. I put out a video at the beginning of the year saying how I felt this was going to be Sonic's year. I mean, with so much stuff coming out, the movie, which I thought was great, a new animated series, the Origins collection, and of course, Sonic Frontiers, the big new AAA game. Even if this stuff was all just decent, it'd be quite possibly the biggest year ever for the character. And this week, we finally started getting gameplay for Sonic Frontiers, and I gotta be honest, this is not looking so hot. Again, Sonic fanboys, please hear me out and don't just threaten to nuke my house. Right off the bat, the overall performance of this game in these showcases we recently got didn't look great. There were multiple moments where I spotted the game stuttering, a lot of poppin'. Those grind rails up in the sky, they are a complete eyesore. I'd say if there's one thing from what I've seen so far that the team should immediately go in and change, it's getting rid of those. I understand, you know, it's open world and you got to be able to freely move around, but especially those ones that are like high up in the sky. I mean, can't we do something where like they don't appear unless, you know, Sonic gets up to those heights? Because yeah, I mean, trying to take in some of the atmosphere and just seeing those things, it almost looks like a bug. You know, like when you have a big particle effect or hit an enemy and they kind of freak out and get stuck up in the air. That's what this looks like to me. But it's part of the game. It's intentional, just awful. There was one part I noticed where Sonic was dropping down and the ground textures appeared like right as he hits the ground. Some of the stuff I know, it's a problem in just about every open world game, but when we're talking about things popping in, like right in front of your face, it's really distracting. And this gameplay is obviously being shown to us under optimal conditions, probably being played on a PC. The gameplay we're seeing here will probably be similar in the Series X or PS5 version. It's not like they're going to show us the weaker versions in these showcases. Myself being a Nintendo boy, seeing all these concerning performance issues, again, under those optimal conditions, really concerns me in terms of what that Nintendo Switch version is going to be like. Especially when we're talking about a game that's all about moving fast. I could see all that pop in even being a bit of a gameplay problem. Like if you're cruising fast and you know you're supposed to hit a ramp or jump on a rail or something and it doesn't pop in until you're like 2 feet in front of it, you might miss it. And speaking of gameplay, we saw a sliver of combat. The animations, I thought, at least looked pretty rough. I don't want to talk too much about the combat, hate on it too hard, because we are getting another trailer for the game that is going to focus on combat. I think it comes out tomorrow, so maybe that stuff can be redeemed. We also saw some minor puzzle solving, which, you know, I gotta be honest, didn't look very exciting. There was like this movement one with light up floor tiles, like you had to walk on all the lit up tiles without going on the ones that aren't lit up. And I will say there is definitely a Breath of the Wild feel to all this, with like the empty space, the ruins and that. I mean, I'm someone who makes fun of people calling every open world game like Breath of the Wild. Oh, is that a piece of tall grass? This game's just like Breath of the Wild. But there is genuinely a lot going on here that gives me those feels. Sonic climbing that big tower even. Yeah, I'll say it, getting some serious Breath of the Wild vibes. And while I think an open world concept can work for Sonic, I just don't think you're going to get that same feeling of exploration, of isolation with this sort of environment like you did in Breath of the Wild. You know, I think about things in that game like the stamina system and how you had to think about, you know, how you're going to climb that mountain. Are you going to have enough stamina to swim across that river? You know, what a big part that all played into the feel of that game and made the sort of, you know, barren open space work. And you think about that and just cut to Sonic zipping around all over the place. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you're going to be able to pull off that same feel. And like they closed the showcase yesterday with a shot of Sonic just running around an open field. And while it looked cool, I was watching it kind of going, yeah, that's going to be fun for like a minute. And then I'm going to be like, okay, now what? Again, I think like an open world Sonic game can work. I don't know if this Breath of the Wild isolated route is the way to go. Like, I'd much prefer if I had an open world Sonic area, like running around a city and, you know, being able to like run up skyscrapers and that and jump around between the buildings and stuff like that. In fact, if I was looking to be inspired by other big popular open world games for my Sonic open world game, I'd probably look less towards Breath of the Wild and more towards something like Insomniac's Spider-Man. I mean, when you play those Spider-Man games, you can tell how much time and effort went into making that traversal, the web swinging, as perfect as possible. Because that's what I'd be focusing on with a Sonic open world game. The running around, the traversal has to be consistently fun. This, I don't know if that's going to work for Sonic. And the overall look of this game, the environments and that, just feels bland, generic, lifeless. And I'm not saying that because it's going a more realistic route. I see fanboys screeching about that on Twitter like, oh yeah, a lot of Sonic games kind of tried to look more realistic before. But from what I'm seeing here, yeah, you can have better looking graphics, but it's like there's no style to it. While I was watching this, it really reminded me of those fan-made projects, the trailers that are like, oh, 4K Unreal Engine, Donkey Kong, Mario, Ocarina of Time. Like, the visual quality of them is great, very high, but they feel kind of lifeless. And again, that's how I felt looking at this game. I'm not saying it needs to be super cartoony. Compared to this, I think that'd help. I'd rather them go like more of a Mario Odyssey route with the visuals than go with this. But even going this route, everything just looks kind of generic. And it also doesn't help much, at least in these trailers, that we didn't see much in terms of enemies, other characters, anything that wasn't this sort of forest zone. Like, I think if I saw something that at least resembled an iconic Sonic location, something like Chemical Plant, even, a Green Hill Zone playing off this, if there was like the loops, right, that you're familiar with in a Green Hill type zone, the feel would be more appropriate. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not gelling well with this. Now, whenever we get one of these first looks at a game, people will point to how, it's just a slice of the game as a defense. Well, Shy Guy, they didn't show the whole game. Yeah, I'm aware of that. The first trailer was only like 30 seconds. The other one, I think, was like 7 minutes or something. So yeah, that's true, but that little fact also works the opposite way. Because at the same time, that means out of everything they currently have, this is the 30 seconds, the 7 minutes that they've chosen to show us. That they have selected out of, again, what they have for the entire game to get us, the players, excited about this title. And when you look at it that way, this is quite worrisome in my opinion. Especially when you consider Sonic isn't on the level of Mario anymore. Sorry, this isn't the Sega Genesis days. People are going into this on the heels of titles like Sonic Boom and Sonic Forces. And no, sorry, Sonic fanboys who are trying to make this Sonic Forces was actually good a thing. It was not a good game. It just wasn't. Let's be honest, Sonic is a character that has a lot of games, especially when it comes to 3D games, that suck. So players are going to be skeptical. Again, it's not like Mario where people just see Mario on a game box and just buy it outright because of that, assuming the game's going to be of high quality. That's just not the case with Sonic. And once more, Sega, this is what you're presenting to these skeptical players to try and win them over? I don't know about that. And just going off what we've seen so far, I'd recommend the game just get delayed. They already said their initial intention with this game was to release it last year in 2021 for Sonic's 30th anniversary, but they pushed it back because of QC issues. And yeah, looking at this gameplay, I can only imagine what this game looked like a year ago. I'd push it back some more. And yeah, maybe there's a lot more going on in this game than what they're showing. Some of this performance stuff can certainly get polished between now and release. But as of right now, in terms of what they have chosen, keep that in mind, this is what they have chosen to show us. I'm just not very excited about what I'm seeing, and that's as someone who wants to be excited about Sonic again, who wants to see him succeed. So if this is kind of turning me off, I think about, when it comes to just your average player who doesn't care much about Sonic these days and is just looking for whether or not this is going to be a good game, they're deciding whether or not they're going to buy this game, Sonic Frontiers, over many of the other big upcoming titles. I don't see many rushing out to get this, at least again, based off of what we've seen so far. Anyway, with that, this video is a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on these first showings of Sonic Frontiers in the comments. Are you worried about what you're seeing? Are you excited? Do you think the game will deliver, will be up to par by release? Do you think this game is going to end up being successful? As always, I'm the Shy Guy, Johnny Zakari, and thanks for watching.